Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. The Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. Online at laportaroofing.com. Okay, the Secret Service director testified today. What's her name? Cheetos?
Yeah, Cheatle.
Yeah, Cheetle. I like Cheetos.
Like Don Cheadle.
I like Cheetos better. And of course, this hearing did not go quite as expected. Cheetos, her responses were pretty much as expected. Ongoing investigation, waiting for the report, blah, blah, blah. But this is the first House hearing I think I've ever seen where the Democrats and the Republicans were on the same side. Now, the Democrats sprinkled in some banning of gun thing, but not that much. The Democrats, even radical leftists like AOC, were all over Cheatle. I mean, it was pretty unified. You don't see that very often. It was as bipartisan.
I've never seen it.
No, I can't. I'm trying to think. Even after 9/11, the 9/11 hearings were very partisan. All kinds of craziness happened. I cannot recall Republicans and Democrats being on the same side with testimony from a witness like this, especially a witness that's a Democrat from a Democrat administration. It was shocking to me.
They took her to the woodshed, all of them, and she deserves it too.
Oh, it was great stuff.
And you know what I noticed about her? She's very unemotional. She's not angry. She's not upset. She seemed annoyed, I would say, bothered. There's no outrage from her. Like, I am outraged this happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to get to the bottom of this.
Nothing.
There was nothing from her that indicated to me that she
What do you think that's about?
was upset at all that this even occurred.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, a man died.
Yeah,
an innocent, a civilian.
She could care less.
And a former president almost got killed. And she was up there like she was reading off a grocery list. Like it was just another day at the office. There was no emotion or anything, no matter how much they beat her up. And believe me, some of them were, whoa, they really gave it to her.
Oh, yeah.
She absolutely is an ice queen, this woman. She's an ice queen. And she's incompetent. But I just found it so amazing that a woman of all things was so emotionless going into this.
Yeah.
And not even upset that this happened on her watch.
She could care less.
You know what I mean? She just could not care.
Well,
that's exactly
you know
right.
what it is?
Just like whatever.
I'll tell you what it is
like,
with
let
her.
me get home and have my latte. I'm so over
I'll tell
this.
you exactly what it is with her. She's a typical Democrat bureaucrat. They do not care about the American people.
Absolutely.
They have their own society. They think that they are on a higher plane than the rest of us.
She makes $300,000 a year.
Yeah, she is she considers herself someone who's dedicated her life to public service, who's answered President Kennedy's call, and they think the rest of us are like not non-people. They don't matter. And some video came out. Some members of Congress went to the site in Pennsylvania, and they climbed up on the roof.
That's amazing.
And there's a video on X. This blew my freaking mind.
Visuals matter.
Okay, this was insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've all heard the story that the police officers were in the building that the shooter was on the roof of, and that there were police sharpshooters on the second floor. And we thought what that meant is that they were below him and he was on the roof, and that how could they not hear him on this metal roof? One of the congressmen went to the window where the police were on the second floor. For some reason, it looked out over the roof where the shooter was down on his belly. So they could see that entire roof where he was on his belly. I don't know why none of them did anything.
But do we know for a fact that there were people in that room?
Yeah, they said there was. So this is insane, crazy town. It really is insane, crazy town. And you know, with Cheatle today, although I still like Cheetos, but with Cheatle today, what you said's right. You know, I didn't expect her to have any emotion towards President Trump because, you know, she's part of that Washington elitist Trump derangement syndrome sufferer. She doesn't think he deserves
No, I'm sure
protection.
she hates Trump.
But the fact that she couldn't even pretend to have any emotion
None.
for an American who was murdered and
I've seen
and
people
2 other Americans wounded on top of the president.
I've seen people get grilled on Capitol Hill like that, and after about an hour, they break and they start getting up. They start showing something. They get upset.
Kavanaugh was
They're
like
angry.
crying. He was
Exactly.
crying.
Nothing. This woman has zero emotion.
I thought she might be
She's
on
like
drugs.
a robot.
She might be on drugs, some prescriptions. I mean, I've never seen someone
No, she wouldn't be able to last that day all day if she was on sedative drugs.
If you go back to Clarence Thomas, he was getting like ticked off.
Exactly. He was getting aggravated and angry about it.
And some of these Congress people were really, I mean, even the Democrats
just like, no.
were really going after her.
Yeah.
And she was like, just had zero emotion at all.
Zero. You're right. She just does not care.
She's not like a, she's
I
like
would
a
like
cyborg.
I would like Trump to come out and make a statement and say on day one, if she's still there, she's getting fired.
Oh, yeah.
First thing firing I'm doing is I'm going to fire her and I'll get to the bottom of this. If she doesn't quit, she's done on my first day, which he will do. And he should say that. I mean,
And
it's just
she looked
absurd.
really stupid. There was one moment, and I did not know this, and I learned something. One of the congressmen, I think it was a Republican, it doesn't matter, but he said, what about, do you know what and he said the guy's name, whose name I can't remember now, Knight, the director of the Secret Service when Reagan got shot.
That's
She
right.
said, do you know what he did? And she said, kept serving or something like this. He said, no, he resigned.
Yeah, she even know that.
Because a president and others got shot under his watch. He resigned.
That guy was a Democrat.
Was it a Democrat? I'm not sure.
So. There were both sides were giving it to her.
Yeah, and
it was pretty fun
I'm
to
surprised
watch.
she didn't know that. You think she would know that? She's been at the Secret Service for 29 years, so that's kind of close to that. You think she would have known that?
I think she'll resign soon. There's got to be too much pressure. How can she lead her team? And then what I thought was shocking is she does not sign off on any of these events at all.
No.
Even though she's the one in charge.
She wants no responsibility.
She does not sign off on any of these events. It's the guy that she has people under her that are in charge of certain areas. And so the guy in charge of that rally that day, they need to interview him.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, he is not going to take the sword for this woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know what's going on at the Secret Service, if they're just all trying to protect each other, or there's got to be some infighting now, and they're in a pressure cooker for sure. And I don't think it's going to go away anytime
She lied
soon.
a lot. Like one thing she lied about repeatedly was that this was President Trump's regular Secret Service detail. There were a couple of guys in the immediate circle that are, but not those extended. The one thing I didn't hear, but this went on for hours, so I might have missed it. I didn't hear anyone ask about that lady who couldn't find her holster.
Nobody asked about that, which I'm surprised.
and
I have a picture of her. Who is this?
Yeah.
And how long has she been a Secret Service agent? Does she normally work with Trump?
Yeah, I don't think she. Yeah, I think I just can't believe that somebody's a federal agent that can't find their holster.
I have never seen her. You've seen Trump in person at Mar-a-Lago and at multiple rallies. I've watched almost every rally. You don't always see the Secret Service agents.
No.
But you do see some. I've never seen that woman ever at anything. She stands out like a sore thumb.
Never.
She's like 5 feet tall, and she looks like a joke. She looks so terrified. And one thing I know with Secret Service agents that I've noticed, those guys are badass. Like the guys that jumped on Trump, they're fearless. They don't even think. You know what I mean? It's like a reaction. They boom, they're just on it. That's what they're trained to do, and they take a bullet for the president. That's their job. They sign up for it. This woman looked like, she was so out of place and so some of the other women too did not know what the ones in front of him at the truck. They did not know. They were all looking around like scared little mice. Like, what do we do? What do we do here? What's going on? I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene just had an amazing thing, and someone put together a montage that's rather dramatic.
It's very good.
Of Marjorie Taylor Greene's questioning with Cheatle, and they posted it on X. I want to play it for you. It's pretty dramatic.
Listen to the very end.
It was exciting when it happened live. but when they did the editing, they edited out the pauses and everything. It's a lot more dramatic.
And added music.
Yeah. So this is today. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene with the director of the Secret Service today.
2 minutes before the shooting, while President Trump has been allowed to take the stage, people see Crooks laying on his stomach in a sniper position on the roof, and they're yelling he has a gun, and they are trying to alert law enforcement and Secret Service. Why was Crooks not shot by the snipers? Why was he allowed to be there?
As soon as the individual was identified as a threat, they were...
No. What do you consider to be a threat? A man with a gun laying in a sniper position, a man that had a backpack, a man that had a bicycle, a man that had a rangefinder. At what point is he determined a threat?
An individual with a backpack is not a threat. An individual with a rangefinder is not a threat.
What about a man laying on a building that has direct line of sight of President Trump with a gun that people are screaming and pointing out? Is that a threat, Ms. Cheatle?
Once that individual was identified, they were neutralized.
No, they were neutralized. Crooks was neutralized after he shot President Trump in the face, Ms. Cheatle.
And killed
Is he only a threat once he fires the weapon?
As soon as the counter sniper identified that individual, they were able to neutralize them.
How were people in the crowd? Okay, then let's just take it this way. People under your command did not consider him to be a threat, yet people in the crowd knew he had a gun and considered him to be a threat. That means that you are a complete failure as the director of the Secret Service, that people under your command don't perceive a man laying on a roof with direct line to the president with a gun. They don't perceive that to be a threat, yet the people in the crowd do. How is that possible?
That's the last question, but please answer the question, Ms. Director.
I'm not certain at this time how the information from the people in the crowd was relayed to any law enforcement personnel.
No, you knew, that everyone knew. The people there knew that there was a danger. They knew there was a threat to President Trump, and it was allowed to happen. Was there a stand-down order, Ms. Cheatle? Was there a conspiracy to kill President Trump?
Absolutely not.
Then how did this happen? And why are you still sitting here not turning in your letter of resignation?
Okay. Wow. Was there a conspiracy to kill President Trump?
You got to love Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's the best.
She went there, man. She went there.
You know, everybody's
thinking it.
Everyone believes there was a conspiracy to kill President Trump.
Absolutely.
I know there's some lunatics that say, "Oh, he wasn't even shot."
No.
That's the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN. They're even talking about a conspiracy to kill President Trump. On yesterday's podcast, we had that incredible story that Bartiromo broke about the man in the gray suit that went up on the roof. Think about it. He went up on the roof after the guy was shot, said he was ATF. None of the cops or Secret Service asked him for a badge or identification.
Incredible.
No credentials
and
at
he's
all.
Gone dark.
And he went right to the crime scene where the body was at. That's
and
crazy.
What's amazing is they gave him the picture without even...
He didn't show a badge or credentials. He just said he was ATF.
Maybe they are all just stupid.
And now he's gone dark.
It's a conspiracy. And now they're reporting. See, this is all because Elon Musk is in charge of X.
That's
all
right.
This is getting
He
out.
saved us, Elon Musk.
Because Jack Dorsey would be squashing all of this. Now it's being reported all over X that somebody who visited Crooks 3 times to his home also pinged at a building right near the FBI headquarters in Washington.
Oh my goodness.
3 times. That's all over X now. We'll see if that's true or not. And it was reported by several news organizations. Not like CNN or anything, but other news organizations that promote stuff that maybe they won't or talk about stuff. But they had a map, and I guess his phone records are leaking now. And they've got that somebody visited him 3 times who also was in a DC building near the FBI building.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. They're going to get to the bottom of this.
They need to identify the guy in the gray suit.
You know why they're going to get to the bottom of it? Exactly.
Because Trump's coming back in a couple months.
There's a lot of internet sleuths these days.
That's right.
Okay. True crime is huge. And look what happened with that guy that killed those 4 college kids. The people, regular citizens, were the ones who located his car and told the cops what kind of car was there. Not the police. They said he's got a white Tercel or whatever kind of car. There are so many internet sleuths now that have access to information, and people like Laura Loomer and other people. There are so many people involved. They leak information to these people because they know they'll go public with it. They cannot contain what's happening. They cannot contain it. Like I said, and with Elon Musk, he's letting it all happen. He's not going to squash any of this stuff.
That's right.
So the truth will come out. I am predicting they will fire her or she will resign very quickly because they'll do that in hopes that this will calm things down. But this hearing today was the best congressional hearing I've ever seen in my life.
That's right.
It was exciting. It was riveting. And they absolutely they really did not hold back.
And you know what, Kathy?
They did not hold back.
It doesn't matter that she didn't answer any questions.
No.
She would have been better answering questions.
The fact that she didn't answer makes it look more suspicious. And somebody had said that. He said the fact that you won't answer our questions is going to make people believe these conspiracies even more.
Now, I want to talk about this incredible new sale on the original MyPillow that started it all. And, you know, we got the first MyPillow that we got was for me. And this was years ago before MyPillow and Mike Lindell was sponsoring the program. I was having a hard time sleeping. I tried everything. I tried the foam pillows. I even got one of those bamboo pillows. I just couldn't sleep. I was having a hard time. The bamboo pillow was like $200.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and that was like years ago. So
that's in some trash heap somewhere now.
Yeah, it was. Oh man,
you got that at the Boca Mall.
Yeah, it was. It was useless.
Pillow,
yeah, it was. I was desperate because I couldn't get any sleep. So we got the bamboo pillow, and we got the MyPillow because this was before Mike Lindell came out as MAGA, right? Remember he went to that Trump rally in Minnesota, and that's how everyone knew he was MAGA. Remember that? And,
yes.
And Trump called him out. You know, Mike Lindell started following me on Twitter that day. But at that rally, isn't that amazing? I'm not sure why. He found me somehow. And now we connected, and here we are years later. But anyway, I'd heard of MyPillow because Mike Lindell was always on TV, but I didn't know too much about him. And you said, I'm going to order you that pillow. Now, we didn't have a promo code then. And the pillow was like $68, right? And you were just like, I'm going to order it. And I was like, you know, I don't know, Kat. I've tried everything. We spent $200 on that. Oh, I don't want to spend $68, but you got it. And I slept on it one night, and I was like, holy smokes, this is unbelievable. This is the best pillow I've ever slept on.
They're amazing.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I'm talking about the original MyPillow, and there's an incredible, we paid $68 for that, okay? There is a special going on now on the queen size MyPillow, which is the one I have. We paid $68 for that. Just $19.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. For the queen size, just $19.98. The king is only $5 more. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it? This is the lowest price ever on the MyPillow that started it all. And maybe you should order a couple of these, Kathy, for gifts down the road later in the year for people.
Idea.
MyPillows make great gifts. This is the lowest price ever, $19.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. At MyPillow.com. That's for the queen size, and the king is just $5 more. Now, remember, you can use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones we highlight, as well as Mike Lindell's My Store, okay? But this is a great deal on the pillow. I think we should order, 3 or 4 of them and just keep them until, someone's birthday or something comes up, and we'll give it to them, or maybe even for Christmas. Christmas will be here before you know. We'll do a Christmas in July thing and hold on to them until Christmas time. So promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at MyPillow.com. And remember, loading up on MyPillow products is a great way. Yeah, it's a great way. It's a great way.
Elmer Fudd.
It's a great way for you to support the program and all my content. Promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at MyPillow.com. All right, one segment down. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Are you ready to cleanse not just your skin, but your soul too? Then visit sparkle2clean.com. That's the number 2. Sparkle2clean.com is your destination for all natural beauty and wellness. Sparkle2clean.com offer handmade soaps as well as skincare products that are crafted with nature's wisdom as well as modern science. Their divine radiant soap is enriched with the golden wisdom of turmeric. It purifies your skin and your spirit, washing away negativity and leaving you radiant. The Sun-Kissed Apricot Bliss Soap is a luscious journey into skin-nourishing bliss. It lets the natural goodness of apricots gently exfoliate and hydrate your skin. It'll leave it silky smooth and refreshed. Sparkle2clean.com also have a line of holistic skincare products that nourish not only your skin, but also uplifts your spirit and awakens your inner essence. It's time to embark on a journey where skincare becomes a sacred ritual. Illuminate your true essence with products designed to restore balance and harmony to your life. Visit sparkle2clean.com. More than just skincare, it's a spiritual experience. Sparkle2clean.com, illuminating your inner spirit. You've heard the news. People all over America are moving to new cities, new towns, even new states. But before you pack up and move your entire family, ask yourself this. Do you know anything about that new neighborhood? Don't just relocate. Relocate with confidence. Visit Maptimum.com. That's spelled MAP, T-I-M-U-M. And get to know your new neighborhood before you even pack a box. Whether it's across the state or across the country, Maptimum provides detailed, instantly generated reports on everything you need to know about your new neighborhood, from crime to schools, natural hazards, political leaning of the neighborhood, demographics, air quality, AI-generated insights, and more to help you vet your options. All you do is go to Maptimum.com, enter the area, the name of the neighborhood, or the zip code. That's it. You get a comprehensive snapshot at your fingertips. No more guessing and no surprises. So before you make that big move, make the smart move. Visit Maptimum.com. That's MAP, T-I-M-U-M. They cover the entire United States. Maptimum.com, your first step to a new beginning. Maptimum.com. From author Candace McCain comes a memoir that you will want to add to your must-read list. Facing Fear, Finding Hope. Available on Amazon. In this inspirational memoir, the author chronicles her courageous battle, her profound experiences of both loss and grief, as well as the remarkable journey towards self-discovery and healing. With heartfelt reflections on love, the enduring presence of departed loved ones, and the resilience of the human spirit, this memoir will touch your heart and inspire your soul. You will join Candace McCain on a transformative voyage where hope, faith, and the bonds of love overcome adversity. Her story is a testament to the strength of the human heart and the transcendental power of love that can illuminate even the darkest paths. This book is a perfect addition to your book club. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Available in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Facing Fear, Finding Hope from author Candace McCain. This is a story of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of love. Don't miss out. Order your copy today. Are you looking for cute tees that capture the essence of nostalgia, individuality, and timeless charm? Then check out the T-Shirt Grove on Etsy.com. The T-Shirt Grove has a huge selection of tees featuring festive holiday designs, tees for dads, teachers, and nature enthusiasts. From the vibrant hues of vintage band tees to the breezy comfort of boho-inspired designs, as well as delicate nature motifs, there's something for everyone at the T-Shirt Grove. Everything is carefully curated to tell your story, evoke cherished memories, and make you feel effortlessly cool and authentic. Discover your perfect tee and let it speak for you. Start shopping right now at The T-Shirt Grove on Etsy. Online at thetshirtgrove.com. That's T spelled T-E-E. Find your unique style and let your tee tell your story. thetshirtgrove.com, where your memories and style come together. thetshirtgrove.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. The Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. Available online at laportaroofing.com. Okay, a lot has been going on today. We're going to cover everything that has been going on today. The Secret Service director testimony, some things with Kamala have happened. But first, I want to talk about some things that Loomer has broken. And she broke a story about 17 days ago. She has an update on it. Charlie Kirk's added some things to it and taking credit for the story. But one thing I learned about Laura Loomer quite some time ago, when Laura Loomer reports something, no matter how outrageous it may seem, believe it. And she was the first person to report that Ron DeSantis was fake MAGA. And this is before he was running for president, before the betrayal. And I couldn't believe it. Who could believe it, right? Trump was supporting him. Who could have believed it? And she was right. And if you remember, it was 17 days ago, because I looked at her Twitter and she said today it was 17 days ago. So 17 days ago, she reported when Biden, and remember we talked about this, she reported that when Biden flew back to Delaware from, I think it was Wisconsin, that he had some type of an emergency on Air Force One. They removed the press and all kinds of things, right? Now, and everybody laughed at her. Remember, this came out, and then oh no, she's wrong, and it was discounted. Well, there's an update. Now, Loomer had an update on this morning at 10:12 a.m. So I'm going to read you what she updated it with. And then Charlie Kirk has even more detail on top of Loomer's original reporting on this, okay? But she's the original source of the story, Laura Loomer, and she had a lot of details 17 days ago. This is what Loomer tweeted this morning. Joe Biden, because, we haven't seen Joe Biden in about a week, right?
Yep.
Now, they say they're going to trot him out at the end of the week.
It says here he canceled a meeting with Netanyahu that was scheduled for tomorrow. His doctor just said he's not suffering from COVID symptoms any longer. But Netanyahu did come here, and they are supposed to have a meeting. And when a president meets with these world leaders, they do a press conference, and
they sit in the East room,
sit in the East wing, and come out and do their pictures and all that. So
that's going to happen.
I don't think the COVID was a good cover story.
It's been too long.
Maybe they're regretting it because COVID now is like a cold. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like a 3-day cold. But yeah, we need. But we haven't. Laura Boebert said, proof of life.
We haven't seen him in about a week. Oh, by the way, speaking of Netanyahu's going to be addressing Congress. Kamala Harris has announced she will not preside over it when Netanyahu's speaking.
Why?
Because she's running for president now, and she doesn't want to offend the Muslim Democrats of Michigan.
Okay, well, we know where her heart lies.
So the Democrat Party,
has a heart.
Yeah, the Democrat Party is an openly anti-Semitic party now. Maybe since they're so anti-Semitic, maybe Candace Owens will do. But anyway, let me get back to this. Yeah. So Loomer, she broke that story 17 days ago about the medical emergency with Biden. Everybody except me laughed at her. Said she was wrong, and she gave an update today. So let me share her update. Then we'll go to Charlie Kirk's. This is what Loomer tweeted at 10:12 a.m. today, Monday, July 22nd. Joe Biden, this is Loomer, Joe Biden is now in the terminal stage of his illness. This is what my medical source in D.C. has confirmed to me. I told you all weeks ago that he had a medical emergency on Air Force One and that you'd be seeing resignations. Everything I said is true. Most people don't know Air Force One has a full medical emergency triage center on the plane. There's even an operating room on Air Force One.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Just because people don't know these things doesn't mean my reporting was incorrect. It just means I'm ahead of the curve. And then Charlie Kirk, at 11:54 a.m. today, put out a tweet. And by the way, he said that Loomer's original reporting was wrong, keep in mind, 17 days ago. Now he's got some updated information that he tweeted, and now everyone's trying to give Charlie Kirk the credit for this Biden medical emergency story that Laura Loomer broke 17 days ago. So this is what Charlie Kirk posted today at 11:54 a.m. Got a weird lead on a story that people should look into. I got a call from a source close to Las Vegas Metro. This is Charlie Kirk's Twitter, X. The official story was that Joe Biden's trip was cut short last week due to COVID. However, according to this source, U.S. Secret Service informed Las Vegas Metro that there was an emergency situation involving Joe Biden and to close necessary streets so that POTUS could be transported immediately to University Medical, which they began to do in earnest. Then, mysteriously, there was a stand-down order from the United States Secret Service who informed local Vegas PD that they were going to medevac POTUS to Johns Hopkins, which they presume meant fly him back east ASAP. Apparently, the rumor mill in the police department was that Joe Biden was dying or possibly already dead. This is Charlie Kirk posted this today. I don't think too much about this lead. It seemed too wild to be true, but given that Joe Biden has been out of public sight for days and dropped out of the race via an X post, and his brother James indicated health was a factor, I'm beginning to grow more curious if COVID or something else has been more serious than reported. If anyone with Las Vegas Metro has information, please email me. Charlie Kirk put his email address. I want to hear if there's more to the official story than what they're telling us. End of quote, as Biden would say.
You know, remember the movie Dave with Kevin Kline?
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking for an actor to step in here.
You never know. I mean, you know.
That's what that movie was about. The president was in a coma. And they found an actor they found a guy, Kevin Kline played him, who, looked just like him. We all have a doppelganger.
Wow.
And they made him take the spot, and he was so good, he even fooled his wife. I'm just kidding, of course. But, we do need him to come out and say something. And I said on yesterday's show, something obviously happened.
Yeah.
Laura Loomer was right again.
Yeah, she's always
something
right.
happened on that plane. We saw him walk. He couldn't get in the car. So who knows what's happened? And now you see online, they have the signature from that letter does not match any of his other signatures. A lot of people have put that on Twitter or X as well. Can you imagine if Jack Dorsey was running X or Twitter? None of this would be coming out. None of this.
All these people would be banned, and discussion would be forbidden.
Elon Musk is a Trump guy now, and he's giving him $45 million a month. He is letting all this fly. So much so, I've never seen this happen. We watched that congressional hearing this morning for a few hours. So much so that even congressmen on both sides are talking about conspiracy theories and talking about all the stuff on Twitter and are on X and what people are saying. And that this Kim Cheatle.
Well, before we get to Cheatle, let's finish up with this.
Okay.
So even if they trot Biden out at some point this week, he's been out of sight for about a week. I think it'll be a week tomorrow or Wednesday. It doesn't mean that these medical emergencies did not happen. It means they just pumped him full of whatever they pumped him full of and trotted him out of there. So there's some serious business going on. And before we get to Cheatle, though, let's talk a little bit about Kamala. She got the Pelosi endorsement, and now she has enough delegates to get the nomination from the Democrats. So she's going to be the candidate as of now, right? Kamala Harris. And I don't think she has a prayer, and I'll tell you guys why. First of all the problems that are going on in this country, she is the vice president. She is the number 2 person in the administration. So all these things that are going wrong in this world that the Biden administration is responsible for, she's number 2. She's right there. The other thing about it, obviously inflation is a big problem. But the biggest problem is the southern border invasion, right? She gets into a debate with Trump when, all these American girls that have been raped and murdered by illegals that have jumped the southern border during the Biden-Harris administration. She's the border czar and the vice president. She's responsible for all of that.
There's a caravan of 3,000 coming up today through Mexico, illegals.
So in a debate with Trump, when Trump brings up Lake and Riley and people like that, how is she not going to look like a terrible person? She does not have a hope.
Here's what the global elitists want to do, and Obama is part of this. And the proof is you see it happening in all these Western countries. All the England, France, Italy, us, we're all being flooded with third world illegals That is not a coincidence. It is not an accident. That is done by design. They're doing that for many reasons, to turn our countries into third world countries. This is what Tucker talked about. These are not people that come here to work and acclimate and change their last name to become American. These are people like, I've told you, my mom became an American. If you call her Canadian, she yells at you. I'm American. I'm not Canadian. Even though she was born in Canada and didn't become an American until I was 6, she's American. That's not how it is now. These people that are coming in hate America, and they don't want to acclimate or live according to our laws or anything like that. So that's what's happening around the world. And if she wins, you think it's bad now with the border? It's going to be so much worse because this is Trump's last stand. He's not going to run again after this. If he does not win, I feel on the border, it's over the next 4 years, if she was president, I feel that her and Obama would bring in 25, 50 million people, honest to God, from all these. I mean, South America will be empty.
Yeah, practically.
And other countries, the Middle East, they're all going to come here. And Trump always jokes that he's going to start having rallies in Venezuela and stuff. And he said it's actually safer, and he would know because he was just got shot at one of his.
Well,
the
thing with Kamala, they would have.
She'd be a disaster.
They would have been better off with Hillary than Kamala. And as crazy as that sounds, and the reason that is because Kamala is directly responsible for all the problems with the border. She's the border czar and the vice president.
Well, she had one job to do, and she didn't do it.
Well, it depends on what her job was. If her job was to bring criminals here, she did it perfectly, right? Because that's what she's done. And Trump is going to hit her with that over and over again.
Yeah, he should.
And she's not good in debates. I played on the stream this morning, so I'm not going to play it again now. But in the second Democrat debate, she had her clock cleaned by Tulsi Gabbard, really bad. And Kamala Harris, she has a lot of baggage going on other than the last 4 years.
And there's a lot of people on social media, a lot of black women. Like I know Sunny Hostin said on The View that if they don't let her become the nominee, black women are going to be upset. That's not really true. I have seen about 15 so far people on X, black women, who have said Kamala is not black and I'm not going to vote for her. They do not consider her black. Now, I know her mother's Indian. Her father's Jamaican. Her father is more light skinned. But I always thought I don't know why they don't consider her black. I always thought they believed in the one drop theory.
No, I'll tell you why.
So why is it that with her, because her father is Jamaican?
I'll tell you why.
Why is it with her?
I'm going to tell you why right now.
Yeah.
She was raised by her mother.
Right.
And there's a lot of photos of her online. You guys can find them. Her mother lived not just as an Indian woman, but she wore all the traditional Indian clothes.
I've seen pictures, yes, and saris and stuff.
And so did Kamala when she was younger.
That's right.
And so she lived as an Indian girl wearing the traditional Indian clothing.
So they consider her Indian.
And when she first got elected to the Senate, and before that, she was promoting herself as an Indian American. She only started the African American thing.
I see.
When she got more close to running for president, when she ran for president last time. So she has gone her entire life and career as an Indian woman. And but some of the problems she has, other than she's responsible for the inflation, the rapes and murders of Americans from the illegals. She's responsible for that as the border czar. But Tulsi Gabbard, I've always been very suspicious of Tulsi Gabbard. I always worry about Tulsi Gabbard. But she's got a thing with Kamala. She hates Kamala. And Tulsi Gabbard, when this first happened, she went to YouTube. She's in Rome. Okay, she was out on the streets of Rome and stopped what she was doing in the middle of the night. It looked like she was at a restaurant, and Tulsi Gabbard, and made
there's a restaurant every 10 feet.
No, but she got up from her table and made a video about Kamala Harris that she put on her YouTube account, calling her out for all the terrible things she is. And that video, she's done a few videos about it, has gotten over 8 million views. And she, in that video where she attacked, I shouldn't say attacked. In the video that Tulsi Gabbard uploaded last night that has 8.5 million views right now, going up, where she called Kamala out on a lot of her things, okay? At the end of the video, she endorsed Trump. So
I have a feeling Trump's going to hire Tulsi Gabbard now.
Well,
because of this thing with Kamala.
Tulsi Gabbard is going to be out in the news on a very regular basis in the media, going after Kamala Harris. I don't know why Tulsi Gabbard has this major thing for Kamala Harris, but I'm loving it. You know what I'm starting to think too? I'm starting to think that you guys, some of you guys out there might think this is true. Some of you may think this is stupid, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. I think the plan has been in place for a long time to plug Kamala in. I think they wanted to wait until after Trump picked his VP, because if Kamala was known to be the nominee a few weeks ago, Tulsi Gabbard might be Trump's running mate. You know? And she's not. J.D. Vance, I like J.D. Vance, and he's a great, perfect pick and all, and I got a lot of problems with Tulsi Gabbard. But Tulsi Gabbard...
I don't think they're that clever to think that way.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, because they... Tulsi Gabbard has endorsed Trump for a long time now. She's always promoting Trump, and she's got Kamala's number. And the last thing Kamala would want would be her to be part of the campaign. You guys, let me know what you think about that. Now, I want to tell you all this, okay? Right now, as we're speaking here in not so sunny South Florida, it's been raining all day long. I don't know how many inches of rain we got today.
It's like a deluge here today.
Oh, my goodness.
Thundering and lightning.
But if you're in Florida and you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you have a leak in your roof, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He's a good MAGA guy. He will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. But, you know, that small leak, if you ignore it, becomes a medium leak. Then it becomes a big problem. And you want to take care of it before you need a whole new roof. Now, if you need a whole new roof, Tom Laporta will help you with that too. But if you see that wet spot on your ceiling, you may be able to avoid a whole new roof and just get a simple repair. Tom Laporta, he covers so much of Florida, from Jupiter south to Miami, from Tampa south to Naples, and everywhere in between, the east and the west coast of Florida. He works with every type of roofing material there is. He also works on every type of structure: single-family homes, apartment buildings, condos, schools, municipal buildings, churches, office buildings, warehouses. Whatever type of structure you have, he will do it. You can find him online at LaportaRoofing.com, or you can call him, and this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call. He'll answer. You can also send him a text because it's a cell phone. And, you know, this is really a cool thing because Laporta Roofing is a big company. And you got the cell phone number of the owner? That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Here's his number, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back.
What if the future was closer than you think? In the book, The AI That Feared Death, Romeo and Juliet in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, from entrepreneur, engineer, and author Jay Ravintos, the stakes have never been higher. When one of the world's most influential billionaires warns in a podcast that the mysterious foundation at the heart of Silicon Valley is on the verge of achieving artificial general intelligence, the world listens. And the existential risks that follow, they have everyone talking. Two freshmen at Stanford who were caught in a whirlwind plot will make you question what it truly means to be human. The AI That Feared Death, Romeo and Juliet in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, is available now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and Kindle Unlimited. This book is filled with love, technology, and the ultimate human experience. Order your copy right now. The AI That Feared Death, from author Jay Ravintos, on Amazon. In today's world, school safety, gang violence, and mass shooting prevention are top issues with parents, schools, and in our nation. From author Edward Gilliam comes a groundbreaking new book on preventing gang violence and mass shootings, The Compton Shuffle, available on Amazon. Author Edward Gilliam is a dedicated educator and former principal of some of America's most challenging schools. He shares his proven methods to bring peace and stability. When you read The Compton Shuffle, you'll discover how proactive measures can safeguard our communities, how to prevent social unrest and protect innocent lives. You'll also discover how to mitigate psychological distress and economic burdens caused by violence. This book provides an in-depth look at successful strategies to combat violence and create safer environments for students and communities. Join author Edward Gilliam on this vital journey to understand, prevent, and reduce gang violence as well as mass shootings. Become a part of the solution for a safer world and order your copy of The Compton Shuffle, available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions, as well as the website boldaffirmation.com. Take action and contribute to making our schools and communities safer. The Compton Shuffle on Amazon. Are you living the life that you want to live? Do you need guidance on your love life, your relationships, your work, or financial future? Then visit soul-experts.com. Soul Experts connect you with spiritual advisors and psychics who offer private, confidential readings, and they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Soul Experts is like a friend who gives positive affirmations when you need them the most. Not only can they help you build your confidence, they can also help you resolve your problems. Do you feel lost? Let the carefully selected psychics at Soul Experts guide you. Schedule your session right now at soul-experts.com. That's soul-experts.com. Get started right now for free. soul-experts.com. Soul Experts, your trusted partner in spiritual guidance. When you're searching for unique, handmade, and custom items that you will not find anywhere else, there's only one place to shop, and that's KCD Design LLC on Etsy.com. KCD Design LLC on Etsy have everything you're looking for, from custom t-shirts, stickers, decals, and signs. They even have embroidery and vinyl items. If you're looking for a big custom order, they've got you covered with that. With KCD Design LLC on Etsy, you'll find a whole world of themes and designs, like the Somewhere on the Beach t-shirt, the Cedar Point Skyline decals. They have custom-made wooden door signs, Winnie the Pooh, and Stitch bookmarks, keychains, and that's just the beginning of their exciting inventory. They bring creativity to life because every item is handmade with love and care. You'll find the perfect gift for every occasion, home decor items, and incredible custom items for yourself. Start shopping right now online at kcddesignllc.etsy.com. That's kcddesignllc.etsy.com. View the inventory. You will be impressed. Handmade custom items and designs at kcddesignllc.etsy.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. Always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Okay, got a little bit of audio I want to play. This is the audio of one of the congressmen who went to the building where the shooter was in Pennsylvania, and you'll hear him talking. He's on the roof. It's a 2-story building, but not the whole building is 2 stories. It's right. One of those, what do you call those buildings? Part of it's 2 stories, part of it's 1 story, split level. It's a split level building.
Kind of, yeah. And
the shooter was on the roof of the first floor building. Okay?
And the cops were in the 2nd story looking down on him.
So here's the congressman describing what I was talking about this in the first segment.
Yeah.
And this is the congressman narrating talking a little bit about it from the spot where the shooter was.
I'm standing in approximately the site where the shooter was. As you can see, I'm a 70-year-old man, and this roof is not a big deal. So for somebody to tell me that Secret Service agents couldn't been here, that's crazy. So you can see that you've got a clear line to the president. This guy is a 70-year-old man. He's got a heart shot.
Everyone keeps telling me 70 years old on the roof. But
How could they get so many people to just...
Because they hate Trump. They hate Trump.
I mean, how many people would have to be involved in this to let this
I
happen?
don't know.
More than one?
Yeah, a lot.
Like a dozen?
But, you know, this is an interesting thing about the roof because that building had in it the local police that have been laying blame towards the Secret Service. Now the local police are going to have some explaining to do about how they didn't see this guy beneath them on the roof.
Exactly. I mean, and that roof is very low. And he had a perfect view and shot of President Trump. Plus, they said also in the news that he had explosives
near a gas main or something.
Near a gas main.
line.
I mean, so this was not the shooting was not the only security fail.
No.
And are backpacks allowed in these rallies? You always told me they weren't.
Not the ones I've been to.
So why would she say that backpacks are not a security
Well,
problem?
sometimes I've 2 times I've gone and the Secret Service told me I couldn't bring something in. One time I talked about the other day, I had a tripod for my camera to make videos with for my YouTube channel. They told me I couldn't bring the tripod in. They said I could take it back to the car.
But were you able to take in a backpack?
So no backpack. And so I said, no, you guys. The other time, they don't let you take flags in.
I've never seen anybody at a rally with a backpack. So for her to say backpacks are not a threat, she's wrong.
Yeah. So I've had them tell me I couldn't take flags in. I've never even tried to take a backpack. I've never seen a backpack on anyone that I remember going into any Trump rally. Women could take purses, obviously.
She's clearly grossly incompetent.
She's crazy.
So the other option is...
I don't even think she knows she's incompetent.
That she might not have known anything about this.
Yeah, she's a useful idiot.
And she's so bad that this was allowed to even happen because she wasn't even paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the other option here. She wasn't there. She didn't sign off on it. So why the hell are we not talking to the guy who did sign off on it and who was there? But it's possible. I'm not absolving her of responsibility at all. But what I'm saying is she could be so bad and so uninvolved that that's why this was allowed to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if she had been a good director, this would not have happened.
See, Kathy,
but the fact that she probably doesn't pay attention, they figured, she won't even know what's going on.
A lot of liberal women, when they get into a position like that, they think that they're great and wonderful and accomplished just because they're a woman having that job. In 2024, it's no big deal for women and minorities women and minorities do everything. You know, that's why this thing with Kamala, it's no big deal that there's a woman and someone who's not white running for president. We had a black president for 8 years, and Hillary Clinton was like an icon among liberal women, right?
I still wonder if
she was nominated and ran. And so Kamala, she's not breaking any glass ceilings. And and I remember when Obama on election night, when he was president-elect and he won, it was interesting because I remember it didn't seem like a big deal that a black man had become president because it just happened. The society got to a point. Well, I didn't vote for Obama, but our society got to a point that when a black man got elected president, it was no big deal. If it was the 60s, 70s, 80s,
well, I think it would
have been a big deal.
I think it was for black people.
I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal, but it wasn't like shocking. It was just like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? If it would have happened in the 80s, the 70s, maybe even in the early 90s, it would have been a big deal. But what I've learned is when these kind of things happen, society's mindset is already there. So it's not as big. That's why there's so many blacks, men and women on X right now who are saying, I'm not supporting Kamala.
Right.
Because people don't classify themselves as those things anymore. We're a society that's post-racial, post-gender discrimination. And I give you an example unrelated to the politics, okay? There's a lot of things that, you guys have heard of these things, that are in pop culture that are DEI stuff, like this new Star Wars series, The Acolyte. Everyone's heard about The Acolyte. It's the worst Star Wars thing ever created, beyond imagination, because it's DEI. And people are sick of all that stuff. We're a society that's beyond it, and no one's... Now, if Kamala were a brilliant, accomplished woman, right, who had a record of greatness and and was articulate, well-spoken, and everything else. People are like, wow, okay, but she's not.
She's a cackling idiot.
And she's responsible for this border invasion. So she's done.
Well, she's definitely going to get the nomination, like we said yesterday. Yeah. She's already secured over half the delegates.
Yes.
She's already raised 150. I like how they say raised. She didn't raise it. That was just money that's been almost put in a trust, if you want to, for lack of a better term, that was supposed to go to Biden. And she's getting all that money now. It's a lot, $150 million, but that's money that they've been holding off on. That's been building probably for the last month. Raised. And that's going to go to her. But you are going to see now the media will forget about Biden, and they're going to really, really be pumping her up, how great she is. They'll tell you she's accomplished all these things. She's accomplished nothing. So please don't fall for that. And I take back what I said about Fox News. They had Eric Swalwell on today.
Oh, yeah.
So that tells you right there that their coverage of the convention was great, but now they're back to form and giving a voice to these crazy liberal jerks. I don't like to see that. So as soon as I, see somebody like that, I'm like, done, turn it off. But, you're going to hear a lot of stuff about her. It'll be interesting. And you're also Whoopi Goldberg already said today, be ready for the sexism, misogynistic, racist, this and that, because anytime you attack a woman or a woman of color, you're a misogynist, a racist, this or that. But if you attack Trump, it's not misandric or anything. No. That's okay. So, that's what you're going to hear anytime anybody. That's how they keep you from attacking her. They silence you by scaring you into labeling you these things. So, if you automatically criticize her, you're a racist and you're a sexist.
So let me play this clip. This is Mika Brzezinski today. Listen to this stupidity.
And I've heard from inside Republican circles and right-wing media that the hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. You will notice they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. They say Kamala. They do it all the time. It is on purpose, but the talk is to start that hate campaign and get it going and start it churning.
Her name is, I say Kamala. What was that racist to say Kamala?
I guess so. You're a racist.
I'd like to know how her mother pronounced it. I bet her mother said Kamala.
Don't give your kid a name that's hard to pronounce and has different ways. I mean, that is the most ridiculous thing. I've seen many people that have names that are pronounced one way. I can't think of anybody famous off the top of my head, but there's somebody like I'm thinking who has a name that people pronounce different ways. And it's a guy, and he's cool with it. He's like, yeah, people say this, people say that. It doesn't bother me. There are people that have names that people do have different inflections when they say it, probably based on where they're from. Like Emily, our daughter, is in LA. She told me on the phone yesterday, I have an East Coast accent now, which I've never heard anybody say, but she's in LA now, so I have an East Coast accent.
I don't even know what that means.
So people say certain names based on their accent and how they talk. It's not racist. She just has a name that has 3 A's in it, and you can have a different emphasis on a different A. It could be Kamala. It's just where you're highlighting that, where you're accenting the certain value. It's so stupid. But if that's all they have, I mean, this is what they're going to try to do to make people
how many
defensive.
Democrats won't even say President Trump's name, right? They won't even say the man's name. That's okay. But if you don't pronounce Kamala's name like they think you should pronounce it,
well, to sit there and say that it's racist, and you're going to see a lot of people talking about her, especially men, that are going to be shut down immediately within 10 seconds.
Not me.
Because they didn't say the name right, and that's how they're going to get people to stop bashing her. Well, you said her name wrong, so your opinion doesn't matter.
And I'll tell you,
Kamala's happy as hell. They're showing her on the. She is just living the life.
President
now.
Trump, he posted on Truth today that Biden might wake up and forgot that he dropped out of the race.
Yeah, probably.
Biden might wake up and not even know that he's dropped out of the race. And the signature comparison that you mentioned earlier is, I'm looking at it. It's not the same signature.
Yep.
Somebody signed for him.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
And what does he mean by wake up? Does Trump mean he's taking a nap or that he's in a coma?
Well, his younger brother said to, I think it was either CBS or ABC News. He said it'll allow them to spend what time they have left together. It was like very dark. Isn't that a weird statement to say?
Yeah, that is really,
isn't it?
That tells me that it's, something's going on.
Exactly. Now, I want to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. And if you would like to support the program, a great way to do that is to become a Patreon supporter. And there are perks and benefits, and you have access to exclusive things that others do not have access to when you're a Patreon supporter. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode to our Patreon page. You just go to that link, and it'll explain to you how to become a Patreon supporter and what you get when you become one. Now, our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, Brandon, Rob, and Trish Wilkerson, and Christy R. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. And again, if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. All right, we're out of time for today, but news is breaking every 10 seconds, so we'll be back next time. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy.
I want to say one more thing. Make sure you have your notifications on for Brian's YouTube channel,
yes,
Brian Craig Show, because Brian has been doing a lot of live streams from home with breaking news. He did
Around the clock.
3 yesterday.
Around the clock.
The guy is tireless, and he's working very hard to give you guys all the latest information. There's so much stuff happening. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show, and hit the notifications so you can see all those. And you can watch previous ones. They're all up there that he's put up there. But just wanted to mention that.
And by the way, we still have not seen Joe Biden. Been about a week. All right. We will talk to you next time.